Your CPA doesn't need to be in the same state as you. In fact, you'd be better off using a CPA that is halfway across the country if they specialize in the industry that you are in. And this is because not all CPAs are the same. And I can run on about this for hours, so we'll save that for another video. But hey, my name's Matt, and I run a firm called TrueBooks that is a CPA firm that specializes in tax and accounting help for real estate investors and business owners. So let's dive into why you don't need to make sure that the CPA you use is in the same state as you. So let's talk about the myth of having a local CPA. This is typically just how it's been done in the past, is you probably got a referral from a friend to use a CPA that's in your same town, and it was easy to go to their office, sit down in person, bring your documents, and they would prepare your tax return right then and there. Now, thanks to modern reality and the digital tools that we now have available to us, my firm doesn't operate like that at all, and most new firms don't operate like that. It's less efficient now to have a client come down to the office only to find out that they didn't bring every single document that you needed to prepare the tax return, just to have them go back home, find the necessary document, and come back. Now we have email, virtual meetings, Zoom, FaceTime, all of these different digital tools to allow us to do the work remotely instead of having to have clients come in to our office and have that local CPA. We can still give them that local feel, just digitally. Now let's talk about the specific tax knowledge. We have two pieces that we want to discuss. We have federal and we have state. When it comes to federal tax law, a CPA that you work with from California to Nevada to New York ideally should be able to help you on the federal level, given that every state is governed by the federal tax code, or what we refer to as the Internal Revenue Code. So you can see how on the federal side, there shouldn't be too much to worry about because, again, you should get similar advice no matter what state you're in. But let's say that you live in California and you're trying to use a CPA that is not familiar with California's laws on taxation, then there may be a hiccup there in you getting the best service because let's say that you're entitled to certain deductions or credits or certain deadline extensions, whatever it may be to that state. If that CPA lives in a different state or is just not familiar with how California runs their own laws, then there could be a discrepancy there and you could get hurt. Now, again, that doesn't mean that that CPA has to be in that state. It just goes back to, is that CPA handling and working with clients that are in that state so that they're aware of what's going on? For context, as of the date of this video, Hurricane Helene has just come through and absolutely obliterated parts of Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. And what we now know is that at the federal level, if you are located in some of those areas, you've been given an extension from this October 15th deadline in 2024 all the way until May of 2025. But let's say that I wasn't up to date with what's going on in those areas, or if we didn't have clients in those areas, then I wouldn't know that information. And so that is the importance of utilizing a CPA that works with clients in the geographical location where you and your business are. Now again, luckily with modern technology, it's made CPAs more location independent. For context, before I got this office where I'm sitting now filming this, I ran my practice from my house. Some days it was from a coffee shop, some days it was from a library, wherever I was with my laptop. And that allowed me with, again, the digital tools that we have to meet my clients in all areas, whether they would out of the country, they were in another state, because I was able to still stay in tune and in communication with them. And it's also allowed me to use tools to find out what's going on in other parts of the country and other states to obviously help clients that are in areas where I'm not. So even though I'm in Nevada and we have clients in California, my research tools give me the ability to understand and stay in tune with what's going on in these other states so that I make sure to give my clients the most accurate tax advice. And the tricky part about this business too is that all clients are going to want to communicate a little bit differently. So this is where it's really up to the CPA to feel it out with that client and understand how they like to communicate. Some clients are going to prefer phone calls. Some clients are going to prefer chat messages, maybe through the portal. For context, our firm uses a portal. You can chat, upload documents, things like that. Some clients are going to want to be purely email. Some clients are going to email you once a quarter. Some clients are going to email you once a month. So it's all so different. And that's where the CPA and the client really just have to be clear with one another on how they want to communicate. But obviously, if a client came to us, my firm now, TrueBooks, and only wanted to meet in office, now I would have the means to do that. If somebody asked me that 2 years ago, I would say, hey, that's not how our firm operates. We are fully remote. I actually don't have an office where I can meet you that consistently. If I needed to meet a client before I had this office, I would meet them at a coffee shop. I had no problem doing that. That's because it was essentially out of the scope of what we offer, but hey, I'm willing to go out of my way to do that. It's just not an ordinary course of business that we would take on because it's not how our firm was structured. And I think you're going to see more firms move this way because it's a lower cost and lower barrier to entry to starting a firm now because you don't need all this massive overhead and huge buildings. Now what the newer firms are running into is Our version of overhead is software costs and technology versus older partners and older firms were running into overhead such as buildings and rent and utilities and things like that. Because we're taking more of the work online and we're able to do the work from anywhere, obviously those costs increase because every person on the team needs the ability to work remotely and have those systems and processes. And so this brings me to, I would make sure that you're choosing a CPA that is based on experience and industry, not so much geographical location. But I understand that if you're somebody that wants that human-to-human contact and you want to see somebody in person, find maybe a CPA firm that has an office or a branch in your location, or find somebody close to you in your hometown. But I would definitely not choose somebody in your hometown or around the corner from you just because of their geographical location and them not being in your industry. If they're not in your industry, then I really would say it's probably not a fit and you're not going to get the best help. And that's what I think you should be searching out when you find a CPA. You need to find a CPA or an accountant that works with clients in your industry to make sure that you're getting the best advice. And so obviously, if you're looking for tax advice, no matter where you live in the country, inside the US, and you're real estate or a small business owner, we'd love to help you here at TrueBooks. That's how we've built our firm and designed our firm, is to help clients all over the country. And with that, anything else that you'd like me to cover in these videos, obviously tax related, client related, running a firm, whatever it may be, feel free to drop in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one.